Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Anything Wrestling Podcast. Thank you once again for joining us on this very, very special episode. Yes, this episode is as special as your chances of a title changing hands in the very next Saudi pay-per-view.
Or a women's tag team title change on Monday Night Raw. I bet you were excited about that one, huh?
Lexi and Nikki.
Welcome to the very first edition of Left, Right, Left, Right.
Oh, we're still doing that?
I figured it was a silly name.
Yeah, okay. We actually have a first today. I know we're usually discussing the real life, pay-per-views and the real life Raws and SmackDowns and the fights, but today we're actually stepping into the what do you call it? The virtual world.
Would you rather the nickname be Left, Right, or B.A.S.S Select Start?
You're gonna have to break that down for me.
They're the other two parts of the Konami code.
Ah, I see. Yeah, if I can remember, we can do that second one.
B.A.S Select Start. How
about diagonal?
No, those aren't controllers on the old controllers.
How about L1, L2, R1, R2?
Is that a code thing, or are you just talking about the triggers?
The triggers.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it, yeah. But today we're going to be discussing about the virtual world, the 2K series, with in particular what we would like to see implemented in 2K20, which is coming out on October 22nd, I believe. So we're roughly about two months away. We got the trailer this past Monday. We got the cover reveal. We got some of the new features that they got going on. But I would say that the first half of this episode we're going to kind of dedicate to the history of and where both Dan the Man and myself started off playing the wrestling video games, which ones we liked the best, which ones we thought were probably the worst out of the series. And yes, it is only just Dan the Man and myself. The commish is not here today. He'll be back with us next time. I believe the next episode will be inevitably the SummerSlam preview, which is going on this Sunday. But let's get started. So, Dan the Man, I guess I'm taking a survey here.
Hey, yo.
Love the head bump too that you did with it. Tell me, where was your introduction to wrestling video games in general? Where did you start off? Can you remember what your first wrestling video game was that you played?
Well, I mean, not to be presumptive, but I am a little bit older than you, so I feel like I might have started on an earlier game than you may have started.
Probably.
But maybe not. I don't know. So the first one that I actually played was the original SmackDown game,
yes.
On PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Which was just PlayStation at the time.
Yes.
And then I followed the entire SmackDown series. I didn't fall off until it went to 2K. I think I did, because when did that happen? 12 or 11?
It happened after 13. 2K14 was the first 2K.
When it had the name. Because I know
12 was the first one.
Was it, or was it just WWE 12?
It was WWE 12 because before it was SmackDown versus Raw.
It just had the look of a 2K game.
Yeah.
Because I did all the way through SmackDown versus Raw 2011. I think I did 12. I might have done 12, 13, skipped 14. And 15. I've been real sporadic and real selective with once they went to 2K, because I did.
You did 16.
I did I did 16 and 19.
Okay.
Because I think I glossed over 17 and 18.
Okay.
Just because I wasn't inspired by the controls on.
It takes a second to get used to it.
Fucking submission system, man. I still hate it.
Dan was trying for the $1 million challenge.
2K, your submission system is dumb. Like, they're not the two. We'll get into that more later, maybe. But your two systems are not equal to each other, and one is more complicated than the other. It's dumb. Anyway, so that's basically my thing. I did cross over to. I had No Mercy on N64.
Yes.
I never owned any of the WCW games, like
Revenge.
Revenge. I think there was another one, but I didn't have those.
Backstage Assault, Mayhem.
Yeah. Nope. I think there was WrestleMania 2000.
2000, yep.
Something. Was
Yep.
that Xbox or?
No, that was N64.
That was N64. I didn't do that one either. I think there was an Xbox one
WrestleMania
also
21.
that I never did.
Yeah, I did it. It was.
PlayStation's where's that?
Yeah, you know, for a guy who owned the original Xbox and the PS2, now I look back, I'm like, you know what? No, PS2 is where it was at, and it's still where it's at. Sorry for all you Xbox gamers.
And console, or not console, and PC gamers, because I know they had a couple of the wrestling games come out on PC, and no, just that's all I gotta say. No. What about you?
So, the first one that I played was Revenge on N64. But yeah, I got it when I got into wrestling in 04. I kind of like went back and I started with SmackDown 1. SmackDown 2 was like for a long time my standard.
Yeah.
Here Comes the Pain, still up there. Funny story, I broke out Here Comes the Pain like 2 days ago and I couldn't play it. Like my hands had completely forgotten the controller. My muscle memory was all gone. I was getting beat up.
I'm trying to remember everything because I think back then
it was.
What is it now? Strikes or square? Right?
Strikes or square.
It used to be X, I think, and
X,
triangle was run.
Yeah, and circle was your grapple.
Yeah, and now running is like a 2-button combination with the left hand. You got strikes on square, grapples on a couple of things in a way.
I think it's X and analog.
Yeah, and then you've got like the Irish whip is with
circle. Finisher is triangle.
Yeah.
Thank God the reverse was still R2. That was okay.
Some consistency. Sorry, we went into like the technical controller bits.
We're gonna do that. It's fine. But yeah, no. Here Comes the Pain was up there. Followed SmackDown versus Raw. Fell off on 12 because I didn't have a PS3. When the hype for 13 came out, I was like,
oh, maybe that's why I skipped. No, I had Xbox 360, and I think they did it.
They did it.
That one, so
yeah.
that's why I had 12. Go on though.
13 was great, but I think the last greatest game was 2K14.
Yeah.
Yeah, big roster, great modes, everything was there. Everything was awesome.
No, I think 14 was sort of a shallow time for me in terms of caring about the roster.
Okay.
So I think that's why roster-wise, I really did like 19 and everything they did with that, and also the availability of creator wrestlers.
Yes.
Because I know that early on that wasn't a thing where you could like download them from other people, but that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that's one of the things that I do like about these more recent ones is that you can do that when WWE skips over somebody. Like
yeah.
I downloaded an Io Shirai, looks perfect.
Really? Okay.
I don't know about the moveset, but she's a gorgeous creator wrestler, and I don't know.
Just turned heel. By the way, some of you creating the wrestlers, it's fine. Please get the moveset together. Like you have a CM Punk doing a freaking big boot. It's like CM Punk never did a big boot. He did a sidekick, but he never did a big boot. Get it straight.
I wouldn't. Well, here's something I mean, we'll get into other stuff too, but something that I would like to see that I don't know if they can really or are willing to implement is as just sort of a free downloadable content, and they'd have to have WWE's permission on some of this shit, but is putting out the what the hell did they call them? The miscellaneous movesets.
Like they used to yeah.
But have them for people who weren't in the game.
Yeah.
So like if I imagine Walter's gonna end up being in this one way or another.
Maybe DLC, maybe.
But like in the event that Walter doesn't make the game, then people can make him.
Yeah.
And they can just say, okay, well here's his moveset.
Yeah.
Hire somebody to put these movesets together.
Yeah.
And then load them into the game as a thing, and then just put it out on online or on your website. Of, these are the moves. This is the moveset for each person.
Right.
Oh, cool. So moveset 38 is the wrestler I just made. But that would just be, customer service at its finest for 2K, if you ask me.
And we would know a thing or two about customer service.
Anyway, so where did we want to go from here?
Well, one quick thing I was going to bring up is also breaking out Here Comes the Pain once again. Hulk Hogan was not in the game because, come on, Hogan, you always have the worst timing when it comes to these things. So I wanted to create a Hulk Hogan, and the funny thing is, I didn't realize I have to create a Hulk Hogan because there was no community creations back then.
Yeah.
So I thought about it. I'm like, it's like the stuff that you take for granted. You're like, oh, you know. So, yeah, community creations great. Leave it in there. Don't touch it. So one place that I wanted to go. Tell me, as the series, like whether it was the SmackDown series, the SmackDown versus Raw, the No Mercies, what are some of your favorite features that you find in a wrestling game? Because there is a lot that I feel like, especially over the last couple of years, they've dropped.
Yeah.
Some of mine is like the gauntlet matches that they used to have, where you can it's basically a handicap match, but the three other people who you select come out one by one. So you beat one guy, the next guy comes in.
Yeah.
They got rid of that for whatever insane reason. Another one is create a story.
Yeah.
I would easily spend hours just putting like real life thought into storylines and branching out, and what would this guy do? What would that guy do? I know create a finisher is one of those popular ones.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But it was fun because sometimes you could make the like stupid 30.
Wonkiest.
I did one time where it like started with a suplex grapple, and he picked up the person and set them back down like 4 times for no reason. Before eventually like power bombing them.
Yeah.
It was. But it would stop the momentum of the match that you were wrestling to do that move. But it was still funny because you'd throw it on some superstar that you didn't, like some creative star you didn't care about.
Yeah.
You were like, well, I fucking hate this guy that I made anyway, so I'll give him this dumb move. And then he wins a match with this ridiculous thing.
But the funny thing is, I came to realize that when you would create a finishing move, it would have no damage. Yeah.
Huh.
Because you remember how when you said you played 13?
Yeah.
Where you can press, I think it was R1, and it would show you the guy's body and like if it's red or orange or whatever. So I would check it before I would do my finisher, and I would do the finish, and I would go back and check his body, and it's still the same as it was before I did it. And I tried it a couple times. I'm like, okay, so this is not doing any damage. So, glitch.
So basically, you just had to beat the person down, and then...
Yeah, and if luck had it that
hope.
you damaged him enough, you would get the 3 count.
I felt like they had it in a couple of the games, the creative finisher.
Yeah.
So they might have fixed it in the later one. I don't remember them.
Probably. Who knows?
But
2K does, but I also like the superstar threads because it's like, you know, these games would come out, then you realize, oh, like for example, CM Punk just got a new look. Oh, guess what? I gotta wait until next year for me to get that look. So superstar threads are one of my favorite features easily.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. What are some of your favorite features?
Well, as I've made jokes about before on other episodes of the podcast, one of the things that I keep clamoring for a return of, and I know that Xavier Woods would fucking love it to see this come back, but GM mode.
Yes.
And the one thing I would like to see them change is finding a way, and maybe that's why they haven't reintegrated it, is so that it isn't an antiquated system. Because on 2K6 or not 2K6, SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, which is what they're playing on Up Down Down.
Yeah.
When you get through to WrestleMania, it just starts back over, and it's the exact same story every time you go through.
Okay.
So there's no dynamic changes. Like, you get through, you win the WrestleMania. I forget what the actual thing is, but you get the most
GM
wins.
of the year trophy?
Yeah, you get GM of the year by winning the most matches at WrestleMania, and then the year resets, your fans reset, and then when you get to WrestleMania again, same thing.
Okay.
So and there's the Buried Alive match at Survivor Series every single time. It's just there's no change to it, and I want to say 2007 did a little bit of a switch on that, where there was more customizability to it, because you could actually pick the type of storyline that you would put people into. So like there was a romantic storyline, where you could it would have you pick 2 guys and a girl, and it would be like a love triangle thing.
Okay.
Or a loser leaves the show storyline, which they didn't have in 06.
Yeah.
But I would like that's one of the things that I like about what the hell are they called? Showcase mode and my career, where it's story driven. Well, I like story driven games.
Yeah.
And so GM mode with sort of a story driven concept behind it is more what I would like to see, and I don't want to see just cookie cutter every single time you go through it.
Yeah.
drawing a comparison to like the other 2K games. I have or is it 2K? Madden, which I don't think is made by 2K, but I could be wrong. Madden 2015, I think, is the one that I have. Maybe 2016. And you play career mode, and there's sort of a path the whole time, because then it's, oh, well, that's your growth as a coach, and you've gone from one team to another, and you can trade people, and there's a lot to it. So there's a lot of replayability.
Yeah.
And so that's just what I would like to see with GM mode. I know I've prattled on about that one a bit, but
let it out.
There's that. I would like to see. We're not talking. We're talking our favorite features. Sorry.
Well, is there a feature that hasn't been implemented and you would like to see? Is that where you were going?
Well, I'd like to see it expanded. So it kind of works. On 2019, I think there's a decent amount of clothing options within the Create a Wrestler system.
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna say.
But I want more. I want more freedom with the ones that are in there.
Because you probably ran into this. There's restrictions.
Yeah.
Like I want to put
it's
on
not
like
even like points. It's like things that can't.
I'll have
can't
like
go
a
together.
non-sleeve coat, and it'll go. Oh, but you got to get rid of the gloves, and it's like.
But why?
Dan.
Why? Why can't I have the coat? But no, like I'm trying to remember the exact thing. There was I made a character based on a character from one of the scripts that I'm
Yeah,
reading.
yeah.
And I wanted her to have the katana swords on her back.
Right, yeah.
But
they have those?
Yeah. It's just two crisscross katanas. And I wanted her to have those on her back because swords play a part in the movie.
Right.
But I couldn't do that with the leather jacket that I wanted. And it's like, why the fuck not? Let me put the swords on her. Like she could wrestle with the swords if I took the jacket off. But yeah, it is what it is. So I just want to see more freedom where I can actually have things
no
that
restrictions
actually interface. Yeah. I guess it's more of a mapping thing than anything else.
I mean,
like if you're trying to put on 4 jackets, I get it. That's
a little, yeah.
But the glove thing, the accessory thing, like accessories should be able to fit over top of other parts of the character.
Okay, we have to, like, I'm gonna open this sucker right up, because for those of you who are interested,
the old title belts where they would go into your stars.
Well, not only that, I actually put out a video where it's 14 features that 2K must improve for 2K20. So a few things that I'm gonna map out right now pertaining to them. Mm-hmm. One is that when you put a title, it starts like melting through the jacket and it comes in and out. Bandanas, like it just goes like on their head, like not even through their hair,
and
like
the hair kind of stabs through.
Yeah. So not that maybe some people like that, but I would like to have an option. Like I remember, I think it was Shut Your Mouth where for the shirts it would say, would you like it tucked in or out?
Yeah.
So like for bandanas, it's like you put it on, or like when you put suspenders, if it's like a woman's wrestler, it goes like through their hair, so like it's pushing their hair onto their back. What else? Yeah, just more like or like with the female wrestlers, I would like different makeup options. Like with Paige, if I want to put black lipstick on her or red lipstick on her, or yeah, so just like more like the hair dye was an excellent feature. Yeah. I love it because like you can give it creative look.
Yeah, and being able to apply certain like makeup features in that same vein, I think would be good. Because when I tried to do busted face Becky, there was no way for me to do that blood splatter on her face.
They have the scars features, but it's only for original created wrestlers. Yeah. But if it's a superstar, you can't do it. Yeah. Another thing is different hair options. So for example, I don't know why I keep on going back to CM Punk. Okay, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch recently, she has her hair tied up in a ponytail. We can't do that. We can only get her hair, out. So I would like to see features of different hair options, or like a CM Punk, if I want him to have a bald head, or when he had long hair. I would like, or Undertaker, he's had like 20 different hair setups. I would like to implement all of that.
Instead of having to make a brand new creator wrestler, you want to be able to take that map because it's easier.
Exactly.
And say, I just want to make alterations.
Yes.
It's my fucking game. Let me do it.
I paid $60.
I paid for this.
And then some more. Another thing is that how much experience do you have with the season mode? And Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth. Because I think those two games did such a good job of season mode.
I'm a little far removed from it to remember like specifics, but I remember those used to be really good for like having a story that you can follow. It was sort of what they did with my career, but my career was sort of I'd like a better story than what they gave us this past year.
Yeah.
Because I didn't mind it, but
it was okay. It was. I like the twist and turns with AJ cashing in on you and taking. I thought that was great. Like that caught me by surprise. But
what about that Matt Hardy storyline though?
in the multiverse, what was up with John Cena's voice?
John wasn't available to do his own voice.
Are we serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a voice actor they hired. For whatever reason, I think he's the only wrestler in that whole thing that didn't do his own voice.
Why didn't you just get someone else who was available?
How difficult would it have been to just replace John with a different character within the game?
But I mean, the season mode of back then, I remember there was real life based storylines, like when Austin ran over the Rock's car with the monster truck. You would see that in there.
Yeah.
They would also have some original stuff where you can create your own faction or you can turn, heel. I just feel like now they spend so much time on how can you upgrade your superstar, like,
which is
I don't get it.
I stand by the fact that and I don't remember if you told me this was a common feature before this one, but the fact that when I started on 19, I made my guy for my career, and then found out that I couldn't use him outside of my career.
Right.
Like, what the hell is that about?
So,
especially like if the creation suite wasn't so tedious.
It's restricted because they don't have all the items available.
And that too, because you're supposed to earn those by the stupid cards. But I mean, like, the amount of time you have to put in to make a superstar exactly the way you want them is ludicrous.
Yes.
I would like a much more intuitive creation system, but for you to have me create a superstar, give him a moveset, give him an entrance, give him all these clothing items, and pick like all the details, and then not allow me to use him outside of that mode is
atrocious.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody from 2K is listening and is going to have any input on this being fixed in 2 months, because I don't know if you could, if they already effed it up. But my career superstar had better be usable in exposition in exhibition mode, because I'll lose my damn mind if I can't do it again. But I know better this time that I need to make my superstar outside of it and then just make some generic ass superstar for my career.
Essentially.
Like, I don't even need to put any effort into him. It's just gonna be a naked guy. I mean, he'll have underwear on. Let's not be weird, but
yeah, he didn't mean.
I'm not even gonna like doll him up with like a cool shirt or stylish hair. It's just gonna be generic.
Probably use one of the preset attires that they have.
Who am I kidding? I'm still gonna make him look cool.
Okay.
So what I am excited about, I think, on 2020. I'm all over the goddamn place.
It's alright.
On 2K20 is, I think they said there's going to be male and female my career. Now I'm hoping that they are two independent stories and that it's not just we're weaving the same story on both genders, because then that gives you a little bit of replayability. But I also hate that, like, the tree, the skill tree, because
I don't get that.
It just goes forever. Just let me level my goddamn person up.
I've been playing on and off for a year now, and my guy is still at like a 65.
And I'm supposed to have been WWE champion at this point. Just so we're on the same page, you are supposed to be WWE champion,
and you're 65.
And you're only at a 65. It's too long of a process.
I think they take too long on how can you upgrade your superstar, as opposed to what can we do to take that superstar and just put him in scenarios and have the player have at it.
And that's also the problem with the whole my career keeping your person hostage thing, is that I spend all this time leveling him up manually, and I'm not even allowed to then transport him out and use him against my friends online or things like. I think you might be able to. There might be a thing where it lets you play against people online. Using
I think
them,
so. I think
but it's not quite the same as just let me just pick my person and go.
Yeah, I feel like they before they had the formats. Like if you take a Here Comes the Pain or you take a 2K14, the roots of it were there. All you had to do was pick it up and just take it to the next level.
Yeah.
I feel like when 2K15 came out, it was 2K14 was up here. Let's go back down here.
Yeah.
And I get it. It was the new gen.
It was shifting to a new creator.
Yeah, but
still, like, your new creator can still look at your old model and be like, okay, well, what features did the people like about these ones that we can then carry over? Because it seems like they just kind of said, your old games, here's the one we're going to give you. And it's like, but I don't want half the things you gave me. They all suck.
Because they only have half the brain that we do.
Yep. What was I going to say? I feel like we've scaled back. I feel like there was a weird kind of like sine wave thing with. I feel like we've scaled back on match type.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day, you had the Bury Alive match, you had the Fulfill Your Fantasy match, you had the three stages of hell, which I think in a way. You can't. It's not quite the same thing.
No.
3 stages of hell I liked because you could pick 3 different full-out match types, as opposed to.
And your health wouldn't regenerate, right?
I don't believe so. Yeah.
Okay, that was the best part. That was the best part.
But all of those, one of the changes I did like, although I don't like the mini games specifically for it, is like the ladder match.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it was just like whoever grabbed the title belt on the 7th try would be the one to
pull it down. Yep.
And now you have to earn it. Like,
yeah.
You have to do the thing. I'm just not crazy about that specific mini game.
Yeah.
Because you're like, jeez. Yeah. Nope. Because then the dot tries to go into the slot, and you miss by like this much.
Yeah.
And I would have won, and then you get thrown off the ladder and lose.
And someone else. Yeah. So you said a thing or two about I don't know if you just jumped on something about moves, but that's another thing is that there's a lot of. I'm gonna throw this out there. The last game, in my personal opinion, that got the Stone Cold Stunner right, probably No Mercy.
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe when Here Comes the Pain, they had some good stunners, but I feel like
No Mercy was such a good game. It was really difficult to play, but it was so fun.
But there were so many small details where when you would come across it, you're like, wow, like mind blown.
And you want to talk about like a story mode?
That was pretty.
I think that I don't know if that's totally accurate, but I think that's one of your earliest examples of the complex storytelling within a game.
Yeah.
Because of how many different paths you could follow and how many were available, because there was a different one for every title.
The hardcore title, the world heavyweight, yeah. But yeah, they were just like I put this in that video once again. If you guys want to check it out, I can link it. Some of the finishers are ass backwards.
Yeah.
Like Booker T scissor kick. He runs the opposite way. I'm like, no, that way. Or the people's elbow. Oh my god! Like I lose my shit every time I see it in reverse. I'm like, no, don't go in reverse.
One thing that I did always appreciate about the original SmackDown games, in terms of like the on-mat finishers, was that it locked them in.
Yes.
So when you would do the people's elbow, because I forget which one it was, but I played one of the games. No Mercy. That was one of my big beefs with No Mercy. Is when you would do the people's elbow, you had to then manually succeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
At doing it right in order for it to, because I don't think if you just did the thing and then you just kind of stopped and ran back into the elbow, I don't think it had the same impact. I think you had to do both things to get full impact.
Right. Yeah.
But on the old ones, you'd be standing above them, you'd hit the button, and it would lock them into the middle of the ring and do the move. Do you remember the one version of the FU where he would like pull them and duck under the arm and then pull them back up and put them on his shoulders? I think that was in like 2007 or 2008, I think is when that one happened. Because they had two. One where he would like duck, he'd do the you can't see me, and then lift them up. And there was another, which just always looked awkward, where he would like grab the arm,
would pull
duck
you
under, and then pull them back up. And you're like, Jesus, who would ever do that? And apparently the answer is John Cena. But
yes, a person who cannot even get his own voice in my career mode. But no, yeah, there are some finishes like the attitude adjustment now,
Yeah.
I think looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. It's smooth, it's quick, it's there, you're doing it. Some of them look a little, like I said, the Stone Cold Stunner is a little, like he looks like he's landing on his side instead of on his ass.
yeah.
So please fix that. Give Hogan a new leg drop, give Booker T a new scissors kick. Yeah, just sometimes the moves wind up very, very wonky. Like, it's either really good or it's really wonky.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no mid-ground there. What else? One feature that I loved in 13 was your ability to put music in the game.
Oh, yeah.
It was like this weird process where you download the song from YouTube, then you put in this program where it converts it, then you put it into the game. Now it seems like they have cut that out because, of course, copyright.
Which is obnoxious because, okay, don't let me transfer the song to other people per se,
Yeah.
but let me use it within my own console. Who gives a shit?
You're not. Well, I think their concern is like you putting the song in there and then uploading like a YouTube video where the song is in there, so it's like you're distributing it, but nitpicking. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe there's some real fine, finicky copyright law, but I mean, I'm still licensing your game,
yeah,
and it was a nice feature. I remember doing that a couple of times where I think I did it with a creative page.
yeah,
Because I downloaded the one with the hawk scream at the beginning. And that one.
Yeah.
And I uploaded that and got to use that as her theme song, and it's so cool. But,
yeah. I think you could even put together Titantrons, like not.
Yeah.
But you can like put something together, which gave it a little bit more.
They need to fine tune that too, because I didn't mind playing with it in this last one, but there was some weird shit that went on.
Yeah.
Because like when I did my B.A.S.S Pumpkins, which if you are still playing 2019, you can look up B.A.S.S Pumpkins from of SNL fame and download him, because I made him and he's funny. But when I made B.A.S.S Pumpkins, I made that little pumpkin logo.
Yeah.
And then I cloned it all over his outfit. Which that's the loop around for that, is I took the one pumpkin and I copied it and made 4, and then copied the 4 and made
for group images.
Yeah, so I was able to make like 16 pumpkins.
Yeah.
And then just stamp it on him. But I took the pumpkin logo and put it in the Titantron, and then I had no control over the animation of it, because I wanted it to like zoom in and hold. But the animations they had were like zoom in and then zoom back in and zoom back in. I'm like, that's really jarring and I don't like it. If you're going to give me a video editor to make an entrance video in, give me more control over what I'm doing.
I wouldn't mind, again, this is probably falling into copyright again, but having the ability to import a video and then put it on the Titantron. So it's like you can either like create one yourself, whatever you want, like let's say on an Avid or whatever, and then you just import it in.
Or download one off of YouTube that has the original footage in it. But it's like... So you could grab like The Rock's original Titantron and throw it in there or something like that.
By the way, please give us some of like those vintage things. Like I get it, like you focus on the current roster, but like when it comes to theme music and Titantrons, give us some vintage
WWE
superstars.
still owns the rights to these songs.
Yeah.
Put in Page 1 and Page 2 and Daniel Bryan 1 and 2 and The Rock 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and
oh my god,
Steve Austin 1, 2, and 3, where you've got the...
He doesn't even have his current theme. It's Hell Frozen Over from '97.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's another thing I was gonna please
give him the Disturbed one.
Yeah, during the heel run.
Is that Disturbed?
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
With the actual like vocals.
Yeah,
that's Disturbed. One thing that I absolutely have come to hate immensely is duplicate supersters.
Oh,
so like a Sting 1988, a Sting 1991.
Just make them be attires.
Yes, because they did. Again, let's go back to 2K14 for a second.
Now, in 2006, I did think it was funny that you had like four Hulk Hogans and you could use all 4 of them in GM mode.
See, like I hate that. Like I hate that whole thing of like having a triple threat with 3 Hogans or 3 Triple H's. It kills it for me.
Yeah.
I would much rather have 1 Hogan and then you can have NWO attire, late 80s attire, early millennium attire. Like they can do that because if anybody is a fan of the Big Show, 2K14 is your game, because in 2K14 when you would select Big Show, he had like 4 different attires. Yeah. And they gave you the Giant for free DLC where you can download it. So if you're a fan of the Big Show and you're looking for a good game to start, 2K14 is your game. But like I love that, because then it's like you see like who else? Like this year it was reasonable with Daniel Bryan, but you had Daniel Bryan 10, 11, 12,
in the jumpsuit,
13, 14, and it's like there's 5 versions of Daniel Bryan. It's like, couldn't we have just one Daniel Bryan and then just have attires?
Now, my question for you in that regard
Are you taking a survey?
I am taking a survey. Hey, yo.
Wow.
I forgot how that one worked, because I thought I was supposed to say it to you and you were going to do the hey.
Well, I was going to say line and then you do it. No, it's fine.
Whatever. We made it work. So, would you... So, with 2006, they had Hollywood and 90s and
80s.
current. So,
right.
So they had all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they all had different stats, and you could have them all fight each other. If you limit it to a single character with multiple attires, are you going to then not allow people to play a character versus themselves?
Yes. I'm sorry. This is maybe me, because I don't like when it comes to fictitious stuff. I draw a line.
So you need that wall of realism.
To an extent, yes. I know it's like, come on, it's video games, suspend your disbelief, and that's fine, but I can't do it. Like, having 2 Triple H's in one match, I'm like, if I'm Triple H and someone else is Triple H, it's like, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Because if he pedigrees me, that's my move. If I pedigree him, that's his move.
Yeah.
Now, if there's the move thief, that's fine, because
I used to love move thief because it was easy to do, and
right.
I think it's too complicated, but...
So that's okay, but if you have like 2 or 3 Hogans or 4 Stings in one match, it's like...
I would almost say that so there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't necessarily take that away, but I think condensing your roster in that way, where it's you only see one name and then you can pick a different attire, but then you can have 80 Sting versus current Sting fight each other. You just change that is
fair
because I do think there's a certain humor to doing things like the Royal Rumble and having 3 of the same guy come out.
Like Mick Foley?
Like Mick Foley. But also because it's consistent with other fighting games like Super Smash Brothers, Mortal Kombat, where you can change
the attire, yeah.
Or you hit a specific button and it modifies the color.
Yeah.
So then you could have blue Kirby versus pink Kirby, or Sub-Zero with a hat on versus Sub-Zero with no face mask on. Things like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I wouldn't necessarily eliminate that, but I like the cleanness that you're describing, because I agree with...
It's maybe an OCD thing for me that just kind of appears where it's like...
Yeah. But I kind of felt the same way with 19 with 3 Undertakers.
Well, if you got the DLC, so yeah, you got 3 Undertakers.
Yeah, because I got the Woo edition, so I had all the things, and I just would scroll through and I'm like, no offense to him, I never played as the Undertaker in 2019, because there were other people I wanted to play as, specifically my created superstars. Now, one thing, if GM mode ever makes its return, well, and this is something that I always hated about 2006, is your created superstars start at 20 popularity.
That's right, I remember that.
Just randomly generate a popularity for them. Like, I don't need them to be at 100 out the gate, but they sure shit shouldn't be 35 points below your normal superstar.
Because then they get demolished.
Yeah.
Like, back then, like,
and
those...
it takes forever to build them up. Because I had, in my 2006, I have a character based off of a character from Kingdom Hearts. And her name's Kairi. If you've played Kingdom Hearts, you know who Kairi is.
Kairi Sane?
Close. But so I made a Kairi creative wrestler, and she started at 20 popularity, and I got her up to like 50 something, which took forever.
Right.
Because I then had to like stack matches in her favor, and I had to play some of them. And that's the annoying thing about GM mode, is if you ever had a wrestler who was upset, the only way to ensure that they didn't try to jump ship to the other show was to play the fucking match. And you're like, but I don't want to. This isn't supposed to happen here. So it is what it is.
Right. One thing, and again, this is in that video that I put up. A lot of times they say, we want the what goes on in the ring in real life to mimic, the virtual world. One thing that I've kind of sort of been advocating for that I feel like will give such a great touch to it, is I'm sure you'll remember this. So I think it was in SmackDown versus Raw 2010. I believe it was in 13 and I believe it was in 14, where if you busted up your opponent, their blood would rub off on your hands, on your chest, just like in different parts. And even they used to have it where like the blood would spill in the ring, then it would dry out, then it would spill somewhere else. Yeah. So that fading out of the blood would always kind of kill it. But I'm like, it's okay because then you have other blood drops that come. So it kind of, what I would love is for that, like if your superstar is wearing tape, if they're going through a grueling match, to have slowly like the tape start like peeling off, not to the point where like it completely comes off, but like
you see the physical wear on your people.
Exactly.
I think they kind of didn't they integrate that in one of the last couple games with like the makeup at least. Because I thought
they did, yeah.
Because I think in 19, if you were Finn and
but
you were playing
like,
Demon King, it would kind of wear off.
But like you really gotta play. Yeah. Like you have to do like a 8-man battle royal match where like
a lot of impacts.
So yeah, like the blood spill, give me something. Let it rub off. Don't just have it fade out. The peeling of the tape, and also the arena destruction. So I would notice that, let's say if I take apart the announce table and I put someone through it, I decide we go backstage, we brawl, we come back, the arena is built back up again. Yeah. And like that would always kill it for me. I'm like, leave.
Those stage hands, they are on it.
But yeah, like that would always bother me. Like I want to feel like I'm in this match where there's the chaos and you
see the as they call it, carnage.
The furniture, like the destroyed furniture. Like when everything gets reset, I'm like, that pissed me off too. Is when you would put someone through a table and it would disappear. Yeah. As opposed to before where it would stay in the ring, and it's like you get the feel of like it's been a grueling match. I've always loved that. Now I feel like everything gets reset or everything fades out or gets erased or goes away.
Which I'm sure is they would argue is a graphics thing.
Maybe.
Because we've got all these really nice looking superstars, and if we have just 77 tables in the ring, it's gonna slow the game down. Okay, well, I mean, make lighter graphic tables.
Yeah.
Let the man go crazy.
Or like hair, like if someone's got their hair in like in a Becky Lynch, she's got her hair in a ponytail. As the match goes on, have it slowly. Sort of yeah. So yeah, that's like one thing that I've kind of been like begging them for. I'm like that would make it great. And you could like if someone is hell bent like, no, I want my superstar to have everything intact, have it be something where you can just switch off. Yeah.
Just like big head mode or the blood setting back in the day.
You don't like it, turn it off. That's it. End of story.
Because I know there were some games where the bleeding feature was in there, but you could shut it off. Yeah. I think No Mercy might have even had that to where blood. You could bust somebody. Well, I remember one of them. You could bust somebody open, and they would react like they'd been busted open, but you wouldn't see it.
Right.
And it's the same concept. It just at that point it just shows how much damage they took.
You're right. But, one thing that I also didn't want to bring up: how do you personally feel about showcase mode? Because to be very honest,
I haven't completed the Daniel Bryan one.
Okay.
I'm still stuck on the match with him and Randy because it's stupid. Like and I think part of it is the submission thing for me.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't do the one version. And when I'm doing the button mash, for some reason I can't get him to tap. And so then I get worn down throughout the match while trying to just be like, I just need to make you submit. And then he hits me with an RKO and it's over. And I'm like, I've played this match fucking 27 times. I should have already beaten it. And that might just be a logistical thing, and that's why I don't like the submission system. But
I'm going to be honest with you. Going back and replaying events that have already happened for me is kind of like running its course. Where I'm like,
I would what is it? It's so Marvel is about to have a show on their streaming network called What If. And I think I've mentioned this to you before also. And the idea is that What If is going to explore alternate things that could have happened.
Right, yeah.
So, well, what if Thanos never got the Infinity Gauntlet? That's something I would like to see with one of the story modes on these wrestling games, is playing out alternate history. As opposed to, well, here's Daniel Bryan's match against Randy Orton. Oh, here's that match in NXT. Oh, here's the match with Bray Wyatt in the steel cage. Da, da, da. I don't care. I agree. Yeah. The one with the 4 horsewomen might be interesting. Now I'm kind of talking about the features of 2020.
Yeah.
But it might be interesting because there's a little bit more dynamic to it because you're focusing around all 4 people. Yeah. As opposed to, it was Daniel this year, I think Randy the year before.
2K18 was... Did they? They didn't have it.
I thought they had a version of Showcase in that one too.
There were... No, 2K17 and 18 did not have Showcase. 2K16 was Austin. 2K15 was the rivalry between Triple H and Shawn, and then CM Punk and Cena.
Oh, you know what? I can't remember what the mode is called, but where it had all of the different matches that you played.
Road to WrestleMania?
Maybe. I don't know. Where it was all the historical matches, and it would have you as Steve Austin play through the Bret Hart match, and then it would have you. It was basically like the precursor to Showcase mode, where it was just individual matches. I don't remember what it was called, but not important.
Yeah.
But I don't really care. I would rather we have something like a WWE What If, where it's alternate history, where we just kind of get to reimagine storylines that already played out.
Or pluck out Showcase, put in season mode.
Yeah.
You know, again, like going back into like, you know, original storylines, or, you know, if you like that What If is a great idea. Like you can have Austin versus Hogan, play that out. The Rock versus Shawn Michaels. What's another one?
Yeah,
dream match.
Dream mode or something that you could call it.
Of course we're not talking about Cody. What? So I guess we now bring it full circle to where we are now, which is 2K20 coming out in 2 months. I guess your final sentiments, like overall, what are you looking for in this game? Because I think before we started recording, you said you've cooled off on getting the deluxe or whatever it's called.
This is a small anecdote speaking to me personally. So the collector's edition of 2K20 has all the miscellaneous stuff the deluxe has, and then right before we came on, I looked at it, and they give you a piece of a ring rope from
the collapsed
2004 to not even that. It's just a SmackDown ring apron, and they probably have 4 million of them stuffed away in one of their trucks. But a piece of the ring apron from SmackDown 2004 to and you get a little autographed thing that is either Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, or Edge. And I forget what it said. That was an autographed thing.
Yeah, it's a plaque.
It's a little plaque for one of them, which is cool, I guess, because you're getting an autographed thing from one of them. But it's not personalized. So I mean, I met Kurt Angle when his book came out, and he signed the book, and I have that back in Michigan still.
Awesome.
But it says to Dan, and I know that's not super personal, but it says to Dan, Kurt Angle. And so that's kind of a cool thing to then have, unless you're just a reseller who just wants to sell off autographs online. That carries more weight. So it's not like you pre-order this thing and then they sign it and they personalize it out to you, which would be really cool. But that's not what
very time consuming.
Very time consuming, but probably only a little bit more time consuming than what they had to do anyway.
Yeah.
Because when I met him at a media play, which that tells you how long ago this was, because it's from before media play went out of business. They went down the line. They were like, "What's your name?" and then they stuck a Post-it note in your book that said your name.
Wow.
And so then they just went to Dan, and next person. So it was still streamlined in a way. But I don't know. So this one doesn't interest me as much. The one with Ric Flair, the Woo Edition, had the Hall of Fame replica ring, which is a neat little prop to have. I collect Funko Pops, so the old school Ric Flair with the title belt. If Rick hadn't had the title belt in that Funko Pop, there's a decent chance I wouldn't have bought that.
Really? Wow.
And that's just because I like the specialness of the championship belts. I think WWE Supercard. If any of you guys play Supercard, for me, the portraits that were always the most fun to slap on the cards or to the cards to collect were the ones where they had the title belts. There's one where Dolph Ziggler's holding that old IC title, and it's just a cool photo.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the world title that really sold that. This year doesn't really scream to me. I'll probably get the deluxe because then I get all the downloadable content. But I don't know. I think they need to find legitimate things that really speak to people in order to make it worth the cost.
Yeah.
But granted, it's a small. It's probably a limited enough edition where you'll find somebody who cares. Like you'll probably find enough Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, and Edge fans that will probably.
Well, I feel like some people just because it's a collectible, they'll be like, sign me up,
and then they just slap it up in their cabinet or other miscellaneous bullshit.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, but I mean, fair to say we're both getting 2K20.
Yeah. I'm hoping, and we haven't gotten too many details. I'm hoping that they've expanded, like I said, the match types.
Yeah.
Because in the last one, it felt like it was a little restrictive, where it was pretty much straightforward matches. I know they've got the mixed match challenge coming up, where you can actually do mixed tag matches.
One thing though, please, for the love of God, get rid of this. I don't know if you ever came across this, but if you had anything that was like triple threat match onward, so like 3, 4, 5, 6 superstars, that stupid thing would come up where they would roll out of the ring and they had to regenerate their health.
Oh yeah.
I despise that. I hate that completely. Get rid of that right now.
Yeah, there's some things that don't need to be mini games, and that's one of them.
I get it, mimicking reality, but not to the point where if I take 2 punches and a body slam, I get rolled out of the ring, then I gotta wait for 20 seconds to get back into the ring. Don't give us...
And at times, the match can end, and you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't restrict me on when I can, wrestle. You know, it's a wrestling game, so I'm supposed to be able to wrestle. So, yeah, but other than that, fair to say we're both getting 2K20. I mean, your closing sentiments about 2K20?
Well, I was going to say, did we want to gloss over any of the details real quick of 20 that have been released thus far?
Yes, let's do it.
So, again, not a ton's come out so far, but they just released the trailer, they released the cover superstars, and there's a video on YouTube on, I'm not sure if it's WWE's page or Up, Down, Down, or both, but Xavier Woods kind of breaks down some of the stuff, so you can check that out if you want to hear more. But you got the trailer, which is Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns being revealed as your cover stars. And then, obviously, Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns are your cover stars. But you got the Mixed Match Challenge match where you can actually have male and female superstars in the ring together. I don't know if they'll let them fight. Probably not.
Because in previous years, they would, do a DQ. Like, if a guy hits the girl, disqualify, that's it, end of match. Yeah,
they'll probably just do the auto tag out thing again.
Yeah.
But there's that. There's WWE 2K Originals, which I guess is going to be sort of in the vein of the What Ifs, but more in
different universe.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever played Immortals, WWE Immortals on mobile phone, where you had Stephanie and Triple H get their hands on this magic lantern, and then suddenly you've got Iceman, Stone Cold, and the Rattlesnake Stone Cold, who's got snakes around his wrists, and King of Kings Triple H, and
Sort of semi like a Mortal Kombat meets
kind
WWE.
of, which is what I kind of assume this is gonna be like. But you've got the photo of like Frank and Braun Strowman. But so you got that going on, the Superstars, the mixed match, and then I mean that's most of it, right?
Yeah, they released some of the DLC stuff.
Oh yeah.
Special SmackDown DLC where you get a playable. I hope Hulk Hogan is still on the main roster. But you get a playable Hulk Hogan, you get a playable Mick Foley with a Rock and Sock coat, the Rock with the $500 shirt, and I think the big selling point, China.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing the NXT new pack this year and like the Legends pack. I think they're just going in a different direction. What else?
I would like to see a very, very extensive roster though, or at the very least, like not DLC packs so much as just, oh, and we made some new superstars or whatever. But
I will say the roster has been good.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I can't take, again, with the exception of Sting in 1988, Sting 1991, Sting 1999, Sting, like, just minimize.
My one point about it is I think that you need to not forget that people in our age range are the people who date back to those earlier ones. We've been playing these wrestling games all the way since 2000, 2005, whatever.
Yeah.
And so to neglect some of the expansiveness that those rosters had, because you had superstars dating back to the 80s all the way up to that point, and now it kind of seems like it's just real selective, but like throw some, not just like random miscellaneous ones. Like I thought it was fun that you had Ted DiBiase in the one, Jake the Snake, but like have that extensiveness where you've got decent chunk from the Golden Age, decent chunk from the Attitude Era, and then the modern day people.
Yeah.
But go on.
No, yeah. Which, I mean, again, I'll say this again. Thank God they put Hogan back in the game, because to me it was such a crime. Like, 19 had all the, like, the main guys.
Yeah.
With the exception of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also talked about my career. In quotations, we're getting both male and female my career modes. Don't hang your hat off onto that one, because it seems to me it's probably going to be an intersecting thing, where the guy and the girl eventually intersect, or it's going to be one storyline where maybe in some parts you play as the guy, then in some parts you play as the girl. What else?
They do have Towers coming back.
Towers is coming, which honestly, that's another thing too. When you would try to earn points to unlock superstars, if you try to do it by playing exhibition matches, it's going to take you forever. Those 2K towers would easily get you some really good points.
Or you can invest in the deluxe version. Because you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think for right now, that's where we're at.
Yeah. We might delve in more on we might do another one of these.
Let's do it.
If more detail, when more details come out.
Or when the game comes out, we can play it and then kind of give a review of what we thought.
Hell, we could meet up, we could play while we're recording and just be like, this is what's going on, blah, 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 and just kind of break some features down as we test play.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
that would actually be fun. Like, buy the game and then, like, for the first time ever, just put it in and then just say what we think. I like that. Creative.
So yeah, check us out when we do that on the next episode of BA Select Start.
Don't be a select start, be a star.
Jesus.
I think that it would be a crime if we don't mention that you can catch all your favorite WWE programming on the new and improved WWE Network. Not really, for a non-negotiable of a very reasonable price of only $9.99.
$9.99?
It's not $10.
Not $100.
Or
$1,000.
Or
$1 million.
But $9.99. That's another. That would be fun if we dedicated an episode to that. The WWE Network just got an overhaul. It got a patch. It got an update, whatever you want to call it. It's fine. It's smoother. It's better. I just feel like it's going to take a second to get used to it.
Yeah.
It's goddamn time. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Um,
If it ain't broke, except it is broke, why fix it?
Dan,
Why? Why didn't you update the app or the service, whatever? You know, you had some shitty stuff going on.
like that search engine,
Yeah, still shitty.
kinda. It's more accurate.
Oh well, that's good.
Like I kind of put it to this. I'm like, Hogan versus V.S. Orton.
Yeah.
And long and behold, it came up. And
Oh.
I wasn't. I'm like, there's no way this is gonna come up, and it came up.
Yeah.
So,
I used to struggle finding specific match types and that sort of stuff. So hopefully that's fine tuned.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, join us next time when we. Well, I mean, join us in general the next time we have an episode where we'll preview SummerSlam, but also keep it tight. Oh, that's not ours.
We can't. Well, we got to come up with a slogan.
We'll come up with something for next time, but
Keep it loose.
all right. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you all next time.